Sunny Radio, where it's always in the 80s. Thank you for listening on a Friday. We do this every Friday at this time. We shine the sunny spotlight on the Sioux Empire United Way. And this week we have Michelle Markgraf, and she's with the Compass Center. How are you doing, Michelle?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Well, thanks for being a guest on the program here, and thanks for doing what you guys do. How long has the Compass Center been around?
We've been around for over 40 years now in the Sioux Empire.
For people that are not familiar with the Compass Center, let's give them a snapshot of what you folks do there.
Sure. We work with survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault, and we give them free counseling services as well as advocacy services, help them talk to detectives or make a protection order, things like that.
And it's a wonderful service to have available. And I know of a person that had been through this and utilized your services, so thank you for what you guys do. It was absolutely amazing.
Definitely. We hear lots of terrible stories, and it's nice to be able to be there and be able to help somebody in a very big time of need. Now,
let's talk a little bit about some of the statistics, because this is something that kind of happens in the shadows. Most people don't even know this is going on. I had no clue it was as common as it really is, but there are a lot of issues out there that we don't know about, aren't there?
There are. A lot of people think we have a special bubble in South Dakota, and unfortunately it happens here as well as everywhere else in the U.S. And in fact, as far as sexual assaults go, the FBI estimates that in South Dakota, we have a 50% higher rate of forcible rapes per person or per capita than the nation does.
So it's more common here than it is on a national average.
It is, yeah. It's one time that we don't want to be the number 2 state, but unfortunately, South Dakota is number 2 for forcible rapes per capita.
Well, we got to change that. That's awful. That's not good at all. I see a lot of other statistics here that are kind of daunting when you start reading this. 1 out of every 6 American women has been the victim of an attempted or completed rape during their lifetime. So 1 out of every 6. That is just a crazy number.
Yep. And then when you look at domestic violence, it goes down to 1 out of every 3 to 1 out of every 4, depending on who you talk to. So yeah, you just look around at your circle of friends, and there's most likely somebody who's a survivor.
And this is one of those things that a lot of the time the survivors don't tell people about it, but they shouldn't be ashamed to tell people, and especially if they're going through something, don't be afraid to ask for help, because your friends do want to help you.
Definitely. It's obviously very feeling of shame, but it's not that person's fault. We always stress that with the people that come and see us. It's totally not your fault. You do not deserve this. And we want them to come forward and to talk to people, and that's the only way for some people that they can get help.
Now, the Compass Center is funded in part by the Sioux Empire United Way, and I see there's 3 different programs in particular. What are those 3 programs?
We work with the survivors, giving them free counseling and advocacy services. We do education and prevention programming throughout Sioux Falls, so if anybody wants us to come and talk to their group about domestic violence, sexual assault, about being safe, a variety of topics, we can come and do that at no cost to the group. And then we also, because we want to stop the cycle of violence, we do work with batterers, and we have them come in. Batterers do pay for their services. They aren't free. And they come in and we talk about how to replace their controlling behaviors, their physical abuse, with more healthy relationship ways.
I love the fact that you do that, because if we know that there's a problem and we have a solution and we can help get those people to the solution, that's a really good way of hopefully stopping that and getting it to the point where we're not such a high statistic.
Correct, yep. Start with the people that are doing it and go from there.
If somebody listening would like to learn more about the services you provide, or maybe they're even going through something in their life and they didn't even know this existed, and they want to get some information, they want to find some help, how do they go about getting a hold of you at the Compass Center?
They can give us a call. Our number is 605-339-0116. And I tell people, just give us a call. That doesn't mean you have to come in and talk to somebody, but it's always a good start just to talk to somebody over the phone.
Thank you again, Michelle, for all that you do, and thank you for taking the time to visit with us today.
Definitely. Thanks for having me.
Again, the Compass Center, one of the many organizations that is a beneficiary of your contribution to the Sioux Empire United Way, and a big thank you to everybody that does that. If it's just taken directly out of your check, that's awesome that you opt to do that. There's some people that don't have that option. If that option is not available to you, you can certainly reach out directly to the Sioux Empire United Way through their website, and you can either volunteer of your time or give of your finances. The website for them, SEUW.org. That stands for Sioux Empire United Way. So again, it's SEUW.org.